Darrell Sheets is back in headlines, not because of another huge locker win, but because one of the people who knew him best on Storage Wars is trying to change how viewers remember him. On April 22, 2026, authorities in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, said Sheets was found dead at 67, and hours later, Rene Nezhoda posted an emotional public message saying their on-screen rivalry never told the full story. If you want more verified celebrity updates and documentary-style entertainment coverage, subscribe, like, and share to support Starline Daily. According to police, officers were dispatched at about 2 a.m. to a residence on Chandler Drive after a report of a deceased person. Authorities said Sheets appeared to have suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound, that his family was notified, and that the Mojave County Medical Examiner's Office would continue the case. As of the latest available information, the investigation remains active. What moved this story beyond the first wave of headlines was Rene Nezhoda's response. In his video, he said many viewers assumed the two men hated each other because they competed so hard on television. But he said that off-camera they stayed in contact and remained friends. He remembered Sheets as a hard worker who cared deeply about his family and the people closest to him. Nezhoda also raised a second part of the story that is still unresolved publicly. He said Sheets had recently been dealing with cyberbullying and urged viewers not to confuse reality television with real life.
What's up, guys? This is not an easy video to shoot. Unfortunately, Darrell Sheets took his own life, so he passed away. I know a lot of you guys think we hated each other because we competed a lot on the show. And, you know, we had our moments, we had our run-ins, but that's because we were both competitors, right? We were both competitors. We're the biggest threat out there. So deep down, me and Daryl were friends. We talked every now and then. He is a very hard worker that cared more than anyone I've probably ever met about their family, about his son, about Zoe, pretty much people in his life, right? So rest in peace, Darrell Sheets. Also, I know Daryl would want something positive out of this. So he had a guy like really tormenting him lately on cyberbullying. Guys, just because you watch us on television doesn't mean you know us. It doesn't mean you know what we're about. Also, it doesn't entitle you to bully somebody. That's not us, that's anybody, that's any athlete, that's anybody. You shouldn't cyberbully at all. As a matter of fact, if you have somebody in your life that thinks it's funny to cyberbully other people, may that be a celebrity athlete or a little girl at school or a schoolmate, slap them in the back of the head. Make them become a better human being, because you never know what demons somebody faces and what they go through and what you might push them through. And I also highly encourage law enforcement. Daryl has been posting a lot about the guy that's been cyberbullying him and tormenting him. And I really hope they look into that guy and it's just not a pass, because it's just not right, guys. Be better.
Later, a spokesperson for the Lake Havasu City Police Department told Entertainment Weekly that cyberbullying accusations are part of the active investigation. Any connection between those allegations and Sheets' death has not been publicly confirmed. That matters because Darrell Sheets was one of the defining personalities of Storage Wars. Known as the Gambler, he appeared across the first 15 seasons of the A&E series and became one of its most recognizable faces, often bidding alongside his son Brandon. Reports on his career after his death pointed back to the big moments that made him a fan favorite, including headline-making finds involving Picasso artwork and historic memorabilia. A&E later said it was saddened by the passing of a beloved member of the Storage Wars family. There was also a quieter chapter to his story that longtime viewers may remember. In 2019, Sheets posted publicly that he had suffered a mild heart attack, learned he had congestive heart failure, and was preparing for surgery after months of illness. Later reporting said he stepped away from Storage Wars in 2023 and opened an Arizona antique shop called Havasu Show Me Your Junk. That background helps explain why this update is landing not only as breaking news, but also as the end of a very public and unusual reality TV career. So the clearest public status right now is this: Darrell Sheets has died at 67. The investigation is still ongoing, and Rene Nezhoda has used his first public comments to call for empathy, restraint, and accountability online. The open question is whether investigators will say anything more about the cyberbullying allegations Nezhoda raised. Until that happens, what has been publicly confirmed is the loss of a major Storage Wars figure and a renewed conversation about what happens when television fame follows people long after the cameras stop rolling. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting Starline Daily.